What does it
Right.
mean money for you today?
Money for me is just a long-term store of value because whatever you work for, it's work energy. Money is your storage of work energy. This is the asset that best stores your work energy for your future consumption. I think the biggest lie that if you, crypto industry, ask ChatGPT or any AI system, is Bitcoin quantum safe? They'll say no. Oh, so isn't that quantum safe? No, it's not. Huh?
Do you believe in $1 million Bitcoin?
Oh yeah, I think there's going to be $100 million Bitcoin, but it won't be in dollars really effectively. I mean, what you could buy for $100 million today is what you'll be able to pay for one Bitcoin in the future.
How do you know that this certain solution is going to be a unicorn or a $1 trillion company?
Oh, for Bitcoin specifically.
How Bitcoin is going to change the entire system?
And I think every person who invents something or builds something needs to understand the monetary system and how all the powers that be behind it. If you don't, right, you'll end up like Nikola Tesla, who invented a system of electricity for everyone, and they took it down. Now, if you understood how money worked, you would understand you'd not go to JP Morgan to help you build this.
Welcome back, guys, to another epic episode ICN Talks. My name is Danny. I'm the founder of ICN Media. Thank you so much for watching. In this special episode, we have Mr. Davinci Jeremie. Thank you very much for coming in for ICN Talks for the very first time, actually.
Oh, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, man. I'm looking forward to this interview.
Yes, we been in touch. I mean, you with ICN last year on Bitcoin Mina.
Yes.
Where we covered the event there. We've been indeed an
Yes,
amazing
I do
event.
remember that. Yeah.
And we took a short interview when you told me that you are the biggest XRP fan.
Yes, I was only playing with you. It was a joke, and I'm wondering. Hopefully, some of your audience understands that I was joking. If you watch some of my videos,
For me it was a joke because I know you for a while, obviously, but the people were like, okay, what he's talking about, because we know him from different scenarios, right? For those guys that they don't know you yet, yes, we need to tell them that you are the most famous guy on the internet who called Bitcoin at $1, right? If you don't know yet, you just go on YouTube, just type in Davinci
J15 or Davinci Jeremie.
Yeah, Davinci Jeremie $1 or Bitcoin $1, like the keywords are insane. Only for his video is how many views right now there?
I don't know. I don't
millions,
watch it, but it's like 5 million or something. I can't remember.
Even more. I think last time we checked it was 7 something.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't keep track, but yeah, it's one of my worst videos ever. I mean,
Really?
yeah, I'm like
terms of,
watching
like
it. I'm like
quality production or what?
No, just the whole, not only the quality of production, but also the what I had said. It was just I was just upset at my audience, right, at the time, because they didn't even want to put $1 into Bitcoin, and I knew that it was going to be something that would transform their wealth in ways that they couldn't imagine. I was so confident in that back in March of 2011. I did a video begging people, hey, invest up to $1,000 and I will cover you, right? I'll do that for 10 people. I'll cover you. If that $1,000 goes to zero, I'll pay you back, right?
Oh my God.
That's how serious I was. I was serious as a heart attack.
What did you see that others didn't? Like, what was that so much power behind this conviction? Where this conviction comes from?
Well, one, I'm a software developer, right? So I was able to read through the source code and realize, holy shit. Then on top of that, I studied how monetary history. So I understood how money evolved throughout our history and how we've always used money that is coins or some sort of paper note that was backed up by real money, which is the gold and silver. And so money came first from individuals, banks, and so forth that created it as coins, and then the governments took it over, and then they started debasing it and destroying the value of the money. So whenever we put our trust in someone, they destroy the value of that money. So once I saw that Bitcoin took away that ability to have the necessity of trusting a centralized entity to make sure that the money's always solid, and it's no longer okay, we're trusting a government or trusting a bank or trusting this individual to do this. Boom, it becomes math. It's like, hello. It's like physics, right? You can't change it. It's the laws of physics. It's absolute. So now you could trust a mathematical equation for your wealth. Wouldn't you rather do that than trust in your government? Because last time I checked, I don't know. The Epstein list hasn't really been released. They're the ones who are responsible for allowing the CDC to poison our children and all that crap, right? And you want to trust them with money? You crazy, dog. You crazy.
Okay, but at the starting point, I agree with you that everything looks unbelievably amazing, right? When you look at the Bitcoin. But how did you know that this is going to be something big? Because if you take, for example, let's take normal days, right? You can look at one right now very famous AI apps, right? Anyone is building now a lot of stuff with AI. So you see something cool. Okay, this guy, they solved nice problem, is really paying in the market with this. The solution is amazing. But how do you know that this certain solution is going to be a unicorn or $1 trillion company?
For Bitcoin specifically, the reason why I knew it was going to be a success was simple. The type of money we have doesn't work, period. And this particular invention, Bitcoin, was considered impossible to exist in a computer science. All throughout computer science, it was called the double spend problem. How do you have a digital asset and you make sure that if I give it to you, I don't give it to Bob, Sally as well, and take a copy and sell it to everybody. How do we do that? Well, Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin, solved that problem with the blockchain and proof of work, right? All those different elements. Also, he used what's it called, torrents, in order to share those blocks. And all those three elements combined created Bitcoin as an unstoppable force for wealth, the storing wealth.
It's indeed a very powerful and complex network because not only blockchain, there is cryptography, like a lot of, and we go with this Byzantine
generals problem.
Yeah, like a lot of elements in top of elements that eventually is displaying at this Bitcoin network right now. But based on your research, I'm 100% sure that you did it when at the right time there you had this conviction. In your opinion, who is Satoshi Nakamoto?
It really doesn't matter, but he probably worked for the NSA.
I mean, just as an opinion. Of course, now everything is too big, but
he worked for the NSA, in my opinion, right? Because the odds of him selecting a randomizer, he selected a randomizer in the code, which was kind of weird. I wouldn't have done it. It was something that wasn't registered, wasn't certified as a randomizer that you would trust, right? That to ensure that there's no backdoors to. So why would you use a randomizer that's not been certified when there's a huge list of certified randomizers? And we only found out after Snowden leaked that the NSA had compromised all the registered and certified randomizers because computers have a difficult time coming up with random numbers. And so there's all kinds of different methodologies in order to do that. And he used a randomizer that the NSA did not have a backdoor to. How's that possible? Right? Unless he was there, unless he worked there, or somebody else leaked it to him, right? Which
give him access
unlikely.
To.
Unlikely, right? He would have gotten that information. Now, he did know, right, that how our financial system works, else he would not have been anonymous. If you understood our financial system, because if I would have built the same thing, I knew for a fact, effectively I could be Satoshi, but I'm not. I knew for a fact that if I built some of this, I would get 2 shots to the head and then I'd be dead, right? Because if you study monetary history, anybody who tries to stop
Exactly.
the money printing gets killed, right? Because obviously,
You go against the system.
if you have the ability to print money for free, you're not going to let that go. You're going to kill, fight, whatever you have to do to stop anyone from stopping you from being able to print money for free and making everybody a slave. That's the way our world works,
Yeah.
right? And
This is very powerful stuff because right now, if I want to understand your dimension as an investor, for example, I'm just having this very basic question. Who is Satoshi or what is Bitcoin, right? Because Bitcoin has multiple angles. If you tell me that you got the Bitcoin, you understand the Bitcoin, it means you understand so many things. Not only the tech part, the network, okay, the code, everything, but you understand money, how money works, how banking works, how all these things, right? Elites, control, masses, why this, why that, like all this stuff. So when you are aware about all these elements at the table and you have a very accurate, right, opinion about money and how Bitcoin is going to change the entire system, then I understand that, okay, you are a different level of investor, right?
Exactly. And I think every person who invents something or builds something needs to understand the monetary system and how all the powers that be behind it. If you don't, you're right, you'll end up like Nicholas Tesla, who invented a system of electricity for everyone, and they took it down. Now, if you understood how money worked, you would understand you'd not go to JP Morgan to help you build this, right?
Yeah.
Because you go against everything that they're building, right?
Yeah.
Because it requires
Next minute, out of the building, car crash.
our system of money requires more stuff for people to spend on, or else it starts to collapse in on itself. If you if free energy becomes free, that's one less thing that we spend on. And guess what? We spend the most on energy.
They don't want that.
Exactly.
They will not allow that.
Exactly.
Yes. They will never allow this control to go away.
Exactly.
This is the big question.
So if you understand our financial system, you know what you can invent and what you can't invent and when.
Now, another question arises, right? Like, if all these are possible, how is possible then on 2025 in this such a high level of control in the world right now, at the society level, and we know how much control it is. How is possible that like $4 trillion asset, no one knows the founder, no one knows how, no one knows, like who has this interest to keep this in a very anonymously way? Like, this is a very big question, right? From here, I understand there's not one guy behind who is smart guy. He wrote the code.
There's no way it can be more than one guy because people talk. There's a lot of people that talk, and so it just you can't really do it. One person can keep a secret, but multiple people can't, right? So there would be somebody leaking the information, right, and keys or whatever, or doing stuff, right, bad, and we would detect that. But one person can do it, and this was, you could tell the code was written really by one person, right, that wrote the code, because of the way he made the mistakes he made. He didn't have like a team of developers to actually go over and do code review because there's mistakes that are permanent part of the blockchain or the protocol that can't be fixed. For example, when you pop off the stack, right? So I know it's a little bit complicated programming stuff, but you always have to pop off an extra number because he made a mistake with the that he forgot that 0 is a number. It's a common developer mistake, right? And so.
But do you agree that the code itself is one thing, and going with this code and have him as a element against the entire back system and bring it to $100,000 per Bitcoin?
Yeah, but he didn't do that. He didn't do that with okay, well, this is what I want to do. This is where I'm going to go. It's going to be $100 billion business thing. No, I have this idea because I'm tired of the current financial system. Let's see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen. Right? He actually didn't know, because here's the thing. There's a few things that he would not know. Right? Hashing. Right?
Yeah.
The hashing algorithm. Can somebody break that? Also, can someone break the encryption?
51% attack?
Not the 51% attack. It's basically now my mind is going because I haven't had much sleep, but I forget the name of the encryption that he used at the time. But anyways, the type of encryption he used, he didn't know if that was already broken, right? Because this NSA had a lot of.
You mean the SHA?
No, that's called caching. SHA-256 is a hash algorithm. It's a different algorithm.
Okay.
It's
I'm not a technical person, but somehow I read a lot about it.
It's in my head, but it's not coming out. The name of the encryption, I don't know why. But anyways.
The Byzantine model?
No, there's a name for it, but it doesn't matter. Okay. It's irrelevant for the audience, anyways. And so he didn't know that. He didn't know if those two things, like some idiot, someone could just look at it and figure it out, right? So he just put it out there and left a bunch of Bitcoins out there. I would have done the same thing to see if something was a mess, right? If someone could access those Bitcoins, right, then you know that something's broken. So that's why, and he probably deleted the keys, right, to see, right? He wouldn't keep them around so that he wouldn't have to worry about, oh, did someone do something? And you touched on a very important point. How did this guy stay anonymous? Because if you try to do that today, there's a lot of holes.
Yes, this is
a lot of holes to leak your information.
I don't want even imagine how many guys in this world right now are trying to break the address and, like
let's
every single, like big tech computing and stuff only on that address to break the code, right?
Let's pretend you wanted to create an anonymous software. Anonymous software. You wanted to do the exact same thing, and as a software developer, I did an experiment to see if I could pull that off. There's so many holes that I found of where your information is leaked. It's not funny. So, for example, let's just say you'd use Ubuntu because you obviously wouldn't use Apple or Microsoft Windows. You'd be screwed.
Yeah. Next second, you're failed.
So then, if you use a desktop version of Ubuntu, it leaks information to their central servers of who you are, even if you put a Tor in front of it. Now, what is a Tor? Tor is just anonymizes where you're coming from, so nobody sees where you're coming from. However, if you did some research, you'll know that the CIA has put Tor initial jump hops, right? It's because you have to jump to first server. Their initial servers are everywhere. And you don't know if you're going to actually connect to one of those initial servers so that they know who you are.
They are right there.
So don't get twisted. There's so many things that they can actually leak and find out who you are. Now, of course, they would have to.
For sure, 100% you'll do a mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
Somewhere you'll click something and will be done.
Exactly, because it's they wouldn't have enough information in order if you set up Tor. They wouldn't have enough information to know who you are unless they can connect this event with this connection over here, right? At the same time, right?
Yes.
And so you'd have to think about all those little possibilities, every single one, in order to avoid detection.
Every single step.
Exactly, of anything you do.
Yeah. Any click you go through, any computer you access, any.
And you can't use
password. I don't know.
You couldn't even use
impossible
any kind of like credit card at all. The second you do, right? If you use somebody else's credit card, that links back to you somehow.
Okay, so someone has this incredible power to manage all this orchestra, right?
Supposedly he got somebody. He opened up the domain with somebody else's under somebody else's name. So that was another thing. So I'm like, well, how did this person trust to go and do this? I mean,
anyway, even if
ridiculous.
Let's say at one point, maybe after 30 years from now, CIA will, wave the white flag. Hey guys, we are the.
Well, it's not the CIA.
Doesn't
It's
matter.
definitely not the CIA.
Because
the CIA doesn't do
you
that
don't
kind of
think
thing.
so?
No, the NSA would do something like this. Would have the capabilities and the capabilities to pull something
But
off like
yes,
that. But I don't think
it's coming
I don't
US.
think it's the NSA as per se. I think it's somebody who worked there and was just pissed off. He was very skilled.
And then someone else with superpower took it and put it on the market. Okay, let's see what.
There was no market to put it on. He didn't want it on the market. He didn't even want to. He wanted to keep it as quiet as possible, right? At first, because there's a reason why he didn't want it to grow too fast, because he wanted to try and make sure it works and get it something working, right?
Yeah,
So
I
you
mean,
could
like
tell.
when put it outside, it means like, okay, let them try it. Because at the end, it's the same principle, right? The market will decide everything.
Exactly,
Like you
of
can
course.
have the brilliant idea, but
there was
if
no
no one
marketing
uses
team.
it, like bye-bye.
Yeah, exactly. There
So
was no
then-
marketing team. There was no plan.
Yeah, exactly.
Marketing plan.
If we remember back in the days, like very early stages of Bitcoin, they will reward you like 3-4 Bitcoin to complete the captcha or something like.
But that was just somebody's individual words.
Yeah.
Somebody set up a website because they had a bunch of Bitcoin and they wanted to give it away to people.
Exactly, yeah.
And so they create out a website where you can enter a captcha and I'll give you some Bitcoin, right? Just because, you
No,
can't.
I'm
if you own
saying
all,
like
if
the
you own all
level
the
of,
Bitcoins, the Bitcoins are useless, right?
usage, right?
So you want to give it to some people, especially when you have so many and it has no value, right? That's I did that a lot in the very beginning.
Went through all these nonsense stages
Mm-hmm.
on internet, complete like if you want like the entrepreneur life, right? You need to go to the rat stage, eat all the shit 2-3 years, like building everything from scratch. The Bitcoin did the same, right? He went through like just completely beginner in the market. No one knows anything about it, how to use, what to do with it. They don't have education. Okay, what is this? I think the most powerful year for Bitcoin, it was maybe after pandemic. Like people really get in touch a little bit more in terms of, okay, this is something that we should look at right now, because
I would
already
say-
like $30,000, $40,000, right?
I would say after the pandemic, only corporations and businesses start looking at it more seriously. Major corporations, because a Michael Saylor first, right? Because he was the first person to actually start to understand what it was, and he didn't understand it at first. He thought it was garbage at first when he first looked at it, and that is generally what most people think.
Mr. Larry from BlackRock.
Even I thought so when I first looked at it. At the first glance, I thought this was a scam, because as a software developer, I know that you can't solve this double spend problem. So I figured there was they were running some sort of scam, and turns out that was not the case. It was actually real, and I was quite shocked, and that's why I was so convicted that hey. I remember doing my first video. I said, every once in a while, something comes along that makes poor people rich one day. This is one of them, right? That's what I said. Because you
Yeah,
can buy it
it's really
cheap.
unbelievable. And today you posted on X that iPhone 4.
iPhone
It was,
17.
it was 2.84 Bitcoin. And
yeah.
iPhone
Okay.
17, the
Oh, yeah.
latest model, now is 007.
Oh, yes.
Like the game between Bitcoin and any other assets is just ridiculous, right? Like Bitcoin destroyed everything.
That's true. That's true. And it will continue to do so because it's a fixed supply. It's the only asset on the planet that has a fixed supply and limited supply. So you can't.
Do you believe in $1 million Bitcoin?
Yeah, I think there's going to be $100 million Bitcoin, but it won't be in dollars really effectively. I mean, what you could buy for $100 million today is what you'll be able to pay for one Bitcoin in the future. So if you're saying, like, for example, you can get a used A380, you'll be able to buy one used A380 for one Bitcoin in the future. That's an example of it. Or maybe, like, I live on Billionaires Row, and the average price of this stupid house is like 60 million. So you get two of those. That's it. That's what's happening. That's happening. Why? Because it's the only asset that will preserve wealth with zero carrying costs. What do I mean by carrying costs? Well, most people preserve their wealth in houses. Most of the people on the billionaires row, they don't even live there. They just store their money there. And it's like ridiculous, right? I say that's ridiculous. But they have their own reason for it, because they say, okay, well, I didn't even pay for this, really. I'm just paying the interest on this with the business that's over here. So it just pays that interest, and I just get the house for free, basically, and I don't pay any principal, whatever. Okay. Right? So when it's all collapses, the financial system collapses, right? The house is free for them, basically, because they understand the system.
What does it mean, money, for you today? How do you approach money today?
Money for me is just a long-term store of value, because whatever you work for, it's work energy. Money is your storage of work energy. This is the asset that best stores your work energy for your future consumption. That's what it's for. That's what money is for. Storing my wealth for future consumption. Because
what about today? What about the present?
Oh yeah, that's what you know what, all you think about is the present, because you're poor. Right? If you're not poor, you will be thinking about your future. Okay? That's the reality of it. And so if you can,
but who
even
is
if you
poorer?
are poor,
who is poorer?
Anyone
the guy who lives in present, he lives his life every single day. He enjoys every single day of his, like, the moments in his life, or the guy who lives in tomorrow. Everything is tomorrow. I need to prepare myself for tomorrow. I need to schedule properly my next week. Who is poorer?
You're talking about two extremes, right?
I'm talking the present guy and the future guy.
Yes, but each extreme, right? Whether you're only living for the future or only living for today, those are terrible extremes, right? Both of them. Living only for today means that one day there's going to be a bad day. It's coming, and you are not prepared for it, right? If you're only living for a future, then, well, guess what, dude? You're sacrificing and not enjoying what you have for a future that may not come. So those two extremes you don't want to live on. You want to
everything
live a
is balanced, yeah.
Right? Okay. Right? So for example, if you are poor, meaning that you're never making enough to save. This is partially a lie, right? You just because, like, even I have that problem, right? From time to time, it's a partial lie, because you just don't want to give up things you have, things you say you need, right? That you spend on every single month, because you feel that I can't survive without them. It happens to everybody. But you're going to have to sacrifice. If you don't have money to save for the future and you're only living for today, you have to sacrifice something, so that you have that balance, so that you have something for the future, but still living for the day, but it's a little bit less.
To have something from the future, it means investments.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Everybody thinks it's investments, and it used to be investments. What is an investment? Investment is a risk on somebody producing wealth for you. Or that's it. That's what it is, right? That's what an investment is. And you could say Bitcoin's an investment, and it's not. It's a wealth storage machine, because it doesn't produce anything. It requires other people to understand that, oh, I can use this to store my wealth. That's it. Now, there is more to it once we use it as a unit of account, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
Just like, for example, when we first invented electricity, the only use case for it was lights. But we know now you could do a whole lot more than just lights.
Yeah.
Well, the same thing applies with Bitcoin, but that's a whole other story. Once electricity became used in everybody's house, then refrigerators came, then dishwashers, right? Then washing machines and a whole bunch more, irons and everything. But that couldn't exist without it coming into house. Well, the same applies for Bitcoin. Right now, it's only storage of wealth. But once everybody uses it as a unit of account, it opens up a whole other world of possibilities.
Like what happened with all other coins, right? They saw Bitcoin and then, okay, we can do these things, let's do it. And suddenly, fast forward, we have 3 million plus coins in the market. Like, I don't know, last year, it was this meme coin season on Solana. It was unbelievable. Like, the market was flooded with
because the world
maybe 5,000, 10,000 coins per day.
Yes,
right?
the world
Launching
loves
per
to gamble.
day, every single day. It was like disaster.
Yes, well, the reason why that existed is because the world loves to gamble. Everybody loves
Yeah,
it.
casino.
It's a casino, and people love to gamble on different bets in order to hope so that they gain. Like, this is why lotteries are such the biggest thing in any country is people investing in lotteries, and that's not investing. That's just paying for lotteries and throwing money away because they hope one day, I'll just get lucky, and that's it. The world will work out. Things will work out if I have a bunch of money. That's not true. You will lose it all.
What is the
because you don't have any value towards it.
What is the scheme now to successfully launch a token?
Well, if you
Like
want
a
to,
scheme in terms of strategy, like
the strategy. For
is it
launching,
still possible to successfully launch a token?
Of course, and always. It's just you need to have the biggest thing you need to have is community, right? You have to have a reason for the people to support, to rally around your particular project, even if the project is false, like XRP, right? You either lie to them, right, like XRP and Ripple Labs have done, and they believe the lies that you tell them, or you, for example, Dogecoin, right? You just get you do huge marketing campaigns that are funny and interesting, and people news articles everywhere. That's how Dogecoin. The guy was a brilliant marketer. That's how Dogecoin all of a sudden exploded, and then he sold it all because it was just a joke for him, right? Then he just used marketing to push. So marketing and getting people to believe, whether it's true or not, is everything, right? Because XRP is an example of brilliant marketing. The amount of people that believe XRP is going to 10,000 and they don't understand the concept of market cap is unbelievably large, right? There's a total disconnect of mental capabilities to understand that you can't have XRP at 10K. Because
these
that would
are
mean
not the same guys
that
that
believe. Hang on, let me finish.
Sure.
That would mean XRP's valuation in total would be more than everything on the planet. Is that possible? Is that possible? It could be more value. That all the XRP in the world is more valuable than everything on the planet. Does that make any sense? No. So there you go. It doesn't make any sense. So that's why I'm shocked if you're not getting it. There's no way that happens unless there's hyperinflation, of course, and that means the dollar's worthless.
Is not the same audience or the same guys that they bought Bitcoin and now they keep their Bitcoin in the whatever bank service?
Sorry, I don't understand the question.
Like some banks right now, they offer custody services. You go with your Bitcoin and you keep it in safe in the bank.
Yeah. They could,
is not the same level of stupidity here?
Yes, it is. It's stupid because the banks they'll sell
Like
you Bitcoin.
Why on earth you will buy Bitcoin and go with your Bitcoin to the bank? Like you didn't get it at all. Like you are the dumbest person on planet Earth.
Because people just because that's what we understand.
You don't deserve that Bitcoin.
Well, that's what we understand. We don't understand that the banks.
Do you agree?
Yes, of course. But the people are just so used to that model of behavior that they can't imagine anything else, right? The Bitcoin is a new model of behavior that is foreign to everyone. That's new to this, since it comes into this product. That what you have to do is you have to be responsible for your own wealth. And you're like, what? I'm responsible? Huh?
No, I don't want.
I don't want to do that. I want it to be his fault.
Yeah.
Right? You want it to somebody else to manage your wealth and be his fault, and he guarantees your wealth.
Because of him.
Yeah, and so that's what banks do, and that's what they'll do for you, is you take your Bitcoin to the bank, they'll guarantee you your dollar value of your Bitcoin, but only your dollar value. And that's it. That's it. What does that mean? Well, I'm a bank. I get to print money. And so I can print you up whatever you need. Right?
Yeah.
So if Bitcoin goes to $1 million, I'll print it up and give it to you $1 million. And you might think, well, I don't care. I'll just take the dollars. That's all. That's all I want. The dollars. But what you're failing to understand then is that they're not holding your Bitcoin anymore. They're selling it into the market. Right? And that now that Bitcoin is that Bitcoin you think you have is not there.
They're back in their game.
And you didn't help increase the value of Bitcoin because somebody else now holds Bitcoin and you don't. And if any point in time in the future that they realize that the game's up, right? They're going to stop and say, listen, we can't give you Bitcoin at $1 million, or maybe they can, right? They say, okay, we'll freeze the price of everything Bitcoin. We'll give it you $1 million for Bitcoin, but then Bitcoin's at $10 million, right? Or 20 million, or 100 million, and they give you $1 million, and say, sorry, good luck.
Only 5,000 per day withdrawal allowance.
Exactly, because they control everything, how much you can take.
And you are back in the rat hole game, same shit.
So that's coming. That's coming. And people are going to be shocked and say, how could I have ever known that? Like, really? Dude, I mean, this information was out there. It's not like they hide this information, that they don't even hold your stocks. You know that? In some cases, the stock is just a liability. Meaning, what does that mean? What does that mean? It means that they don't own the stock for you. The stock doesn't exist as an ownership on their balance sheet. It's just whatever the price is, they have to pay you that. And since they print money, they don't give a shit.
Yeah. But what's the difference then between printing money, and minting USDT?
Well, USDT is backed by treasury assets, and so they're a little bit more controlled than that nowadays. So before they probably
but
weren't.
But still, anytime you can see a news, another 200 million USDT.
Yeah, but they wouldn't
minted and back in the chain.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if they're probably a little bit more regulated with the Federal Reserve, because it makes it better for them. The stablecoins market is better for the United States government. Why? Because now they have somebody else to buy the debt. And so they just have to point a gun. You're going to buy the debt, right? What? Right? Not Bitcoin, right? You're not going to store Bitcoin, right? we got you. You right? You got that, right? Okay, good. Long as we're clear, we're good. And so now they're buying the debt, and they hold they're able to give you a stable coin, and they get the difference for the interest payment on the debt.
So for you here,
so it's easy money for them.
Okay, I agree. But for you here, it doesn't smell like a new financial tool that they invented to play the cards in their interest. It's just the same game with different tools. I'm talking about elites. I'm talking about Fed level and stuff like that.
It is more of like the financial systems, part of the financial systems shell game, where they move money around in order to keep the system up and running, because the system helps them print money for free, but at the same time, they need to keep that going as long as possible so that they can continue to print money for free. And there's certain rules of the game that they need to do in order to keep that going. And that is the debt has to increase, but it has to go somewhere, right? That always has to increase debt, always, but it has to go somewhere so that it doesn't actually cause the prices of things to go up too fast, right? And so this is one way they can actually solve this problem, because now China's not buying anymore, right? That China the program was gone. They first started with oil, right? Okay, the Saudis and UAE and everywhere else was buying the debt for and holding it on their balance sheet for the oil. They can't do anymore, and they're selling. And China is doing the same thing. It was like, okay, we'll get all your industry and we'll buy the debt. And now they can't do that anymore. And so, because they have everything. And so, where does this debt go to now? Right? Because that's how the money gets printed. Right? And so, it goes to, of course, now stablecoins. And this is their way out, or at least to extend the game a little bit longer.
I like this stuff with longer game and playing the game in a long version, right? Because at this level, they need to think in moves like 20 to 50 years, right? They don't think in next year or something. They see this stuff on
Who's they?
You mentioned, right? Like,
but who's
China,
they? But the government.
US.
I can tell you that politicians don't think that way. I can guarantee you that.
No, the guy from the parliament, no. That guy, just like,
but
like
there are other people.
A drop in the ocean. It doesn't matter.
Example, the Rothschilds, they do, right?
Yes, these guys.
Okay, if you're talking about those days,
yes.
If you're talking about corporational they, yes, they think in a longer term, large corporation, of course, but a politician, they think about the next election.
No, politicians are just soldiers. Yeah, they
Exactly.
they are there for 4 years. You execute the orders, then you, if you are not dead, go, live in Beverly Hills for the rest of your life. Bye bye. No, I was about to ask you a different thing around Bitcoin because I want to squeeze over everything from from what's inside there. So coming from you, stretch of imagination stuff, right? We go 30, 40 years from now. As anything in this world has an end. Like there is nothing like forever, right? Even money. It has to come in a different way, and we are experiencing this nowadays, right? What is the scenario that you see like end of Bitcoin?
Scenario? What do you mean end of Bitcoin?
End of Bitcoin. Like something else is coming and will replace Bitcoin as Bitcoin is replacing now bank system.
Oh, you mean in...
Like at one point, Bitcoin banks go to nothing, to this light.
Do you see something replacing English? What's the end of English? Because English is a protocol. Protocol is just a means of communications. Bitcoin is just a protocol, a means of communication, wealth.
Yeah, it's possible. At one point, maybe we don't need to pronounce any words. We just communicate.
What can produce?
There is no language anymore.
Do you see that happening? And how do you see our language disappearing? See, it's the same kind of concept. It's not. You just like no. There's no.
It's too far away.
Exactly. It's way too far away, and it's unlikely even, right? Maybe there might be reduced to 2 languages, like Mandarin and Chinese is like Mandarin and English, right? Because of the population, right?
Something like they go like this. Hey guys, we want to remove the poorness in the world, right? Everything. Everyone, you don't need to work, you don't need to do things. You have everything you want. You go to this shop, you go to this shop. You need fruits, go take fruits. You go vegetables, go buy vegetables.
Yeah,
you don't need to pay. You don't need to.
The Soviet Union.
Of course, you'll have a car, the chip somewhere installed. They know everything what you do, but you don't need to do. You don't need money anymore. You just go and eat and live.
USSR did that, and you saw how that ended up. So it will end up exactly like that, 100%. There is no other outcome if you try to believe in universal basic income. The outcome will be exactly like the USSR, 100%.
What do you think will be
100%
the response from the crowd if something like this will come as a proposal?
No, there will be no other outcome other than that, right? Where everybody's starving, right? And it's sad that everybody thinks that this time will be different. It doesn't work that way. You have to motherfucking work. You have to produce something. You jackass. You have to make something of value. If you don't, then there's nothing
For you.
for anybody. Because if you don't produce it, who will?
It's a compound effect.
Right? And you say, well, robots will. Okay. Alrighty. Do you understand that somebody has to pay for those robots, right? And they're going to want to get paid. And they're not going to want to get paid in free money that you got. So you have to produce something for the people who have those robots.
But when you get something for free, you are the product. So maybe when you become such a valuable product for the system has the interest to give you everything for free. Because they will use you for...
You're using it in the sense of like, what's it called? For media, social media, right? And the social media, or
whatever word they have for the crowd.
The tool that you're using, and you don't pay for that tool, you become the product. But then again, keep in mind, right? You become the product, but you are actually producing something at the same time. You're producing wealth, right? And then somebody gives you something for free that helps extract more wealth out of you, right? So, but if you don't produce any wealth, well, then that free thing is not going to extract wealth from you.
No, if you don't produce anything for the system, you are literally... Anyway, at their level, the way how they see things, the entire mankind is just a tool for them to be used to execute the plan. There is no other usage. Like, whatever you do, you have to... Of course, it's wrapped in all this self-development and happiness and, go have money for, and then they start showing you yachts, Ferrari, stuff like that. Go watch the sunset and go travel, all these things to keep you in this loop of production, right? You need to produce. The moment you don't produce anymore, you became a bacteria.
You could produce and store your wealth and then use it. And it's the same thing as actually producing the wealth, right? Because here's the thing. Money, like Bitcoin, it is storing the wealth that you've earned today for future consumption. So it's still the work you produce today. It's just you're using it tomorrow. You're not using it today. So if you saved up 10 Bitcoin, and then you decide, I'm never going to work again with this 10 Bitcoin now. You still had to work in the first place to save the 10 Bitcoin. And now you're using that work, because that's stored there, right, to get somebody else to do the work for you, right? Because you're generating, you don't have to, like if you didn't have the 10 Bitcoins, you'd have to generate work in order to give it to somebody else.
You have needs. The moment you have needs, you'll pay for the needs. So you'll produce for others that has to produce for you. So you produce.
But money is the storage of that work energy now. And the advantage of Bitcoin is that that storage of work energies will always, the value of that work energy will always increase higher and higher forever because of the fixed supply.
But do you believe in a scenario where people in general will be able to, I don't need to open my bank account, I don't need my credit card, I'm just, I have my financial freedom, I can travel with my 10 Bitcoin wherever I go to shop, I have my...
you could do that. It's just that, remember, you'll reduce
centralized
over time.
exchange card, and I'm paying with my whatever and whatever, like totally independent. Do you see this scenario possible?
Of course it is, because, you're just paying, you're just using that work energy that you stored. That's all it is, right? Instead of actually working, you're just using the energy that you stored.
Okay, but if at the mass level we'll achieve this level, who is going to entertain this execution for them? Because they need this execution.
What
to have
execution?
These corporations, trillions of dollars.
There'll always be somebody who...
How Amazon will still run? How Google? How...
Very easily. They all will work the same way that they do today. It's just they don't need... Corporations would prefer...
You don't go to work tomorrow. If you have 10 Bitcoin, you don't work anymore. You go and spend time...
Yeah, but not everybody has 10 Bitcoin to just not work tomorrow. right? And not everybody will because there's only 21 million of them.
Yeah. Or
Right.
I don't know,
So-
maybe you have
So
20,000 Solana or whatever.
So it doesn't. Let's just focus on Bitcoin.
Okay.
Because then it's a whole other ball
Yeah.
of wax.
Yeah. It's
Right?
big. It's big.
If we're gonna get all, so let's just assume it's just Bitcoin.
No, Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin. Bitcoin being limited, of course. Even if you have one, you're part of 1% club, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so because there's more millionaires than there are Bitcoin. So, I mean,
But do you think all of them are interested to have one?
they eventually will? Because that's human nature, especially at the top, right? Why do you think Andrew Tate has 93 Bugattis? I mean, not Bugattis, but cars, like exotic cars, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he just wants to say that nobody else has them. He wants something that nobody else has, or very few people have, right?
Mm.
It's just a bravado of that, right? And so that's coming into play, and that's just human nature. So
I saw some YouTube videos with, I think you did a vlog with Mo, right? He came to your house
yeah.
in Villa. How many cars do you have?
I don't have that many cars. I have 3 cars, but I don't
Rolls
care.
and stuff like that?
No. I have a Maybach and a 7 Series, and actually, what's it called? A smart car, because I love the smart cars. And I drive that to work and stuff like that. I drive around the Palm, and it's like a golf car for me. I love it. I love it. I know it sounds crazy, but I don't care. I love it. And I don't really care about cars. I really care about software development and building stuff. So that's what I'm focused on. And also teaching people about Bitcoin. In fact, I have a course called Bitcoin for Beginners. It's b4b.dj15.com. That's B as in Bob, the number 4.
Yeah, we'll put the link on the description. No worries.
.dj15.com. And
What's the purpose of that?
and that's just to teach you how to learn why Bitcoin is something you want to save in before those wealthy people figure that out. And because
How
once
much
they
is the
do,
course?
they're going to have a Michael Saylor moment. Goes, oh my fucking God, I better get this before everybody else does. And we want you to have that Michael Saylor moment to start saving it and like crazy, so that when the wealthy people finally get it, because they have now easier access to it. And so the only way they're going to get it is with you, through you. And you say, no, my price is a lot higher. And we're also going to teach you how not to ever sell it. Never. Because our financial system allows you to do that, to never sell, to always have wealth and money to spend, but always keep your Bitcoin. And we're going to show you how to do that in the school, b4b.davincej15.com. You'll learn exactly how to keep your Bitcoins forever and keep it in your family forever for generations to come, and have them keep adding. This, if you do it this way, your Bitcoin will grow at an exponential rate in value.
I'm super curious. Like, we will be talking after 3 years from now, and I will be so curious. How do you install in this beginner stage students' minds that approach of never sell? Because to tell to someone that, okay, you invest today in something, but then you never sell this, it's so hard to be digested that they don't understand at all. Like, how come? Like, why should I invest then, right? Like, immediately, next second. It's the same thing that you have conversations with big boys and they tell you money doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
And you don't understand. Like, how come? Like, why? No, I want money. Like, if I had 20K per month, I will be the king of the world. I will do 1, 2, 3, and you start, So how would you explain a little bit this concept of you buy it and you never sell it?
It's really straightforward and simple, right? A wealthy person who has, like, if I gave you a Manhattan building, right? I just gave it to you, build to $2 billion Manhattan
In
building.
what year?
Anytime, just now, right
Okay.
now. I give it to you right now,
Okay.
right now. You have 2 options. You can sell it, But it'll take you a long time, right? So, what are you going to do? You need money right now. Well, do you need $2 billion? No. What do you need? I don't know.
How much do you need?
Okay.
The biggest question on the
Right? What do you need
planet.
right now? Oh, I don't know. Just $2 million? Okay. Borrow $2 million. They'll give it to you interest free. Interest free. Or if it's not interest free, you don't have to pay the principal. Just give me the interest.
Because
Yeah.
you have a legit asset.
Exactly. Now, instead of spending that $2 million, you'd have to be smart about this, right? You have to use some level of fucking intelligence here, right? You have to take that $2 million and not spend it on fucking cars. You have to go and buy something that will earn more money to pay the interest. Not only earn to pay the interest, but also give you a little bit extra so that you can live.
To afford your lifestyle.
Exactly. That's how you do it. Right?
That's why it's important, like, never sell it. Because actually,
Exactly.
you never sell your lifestyle.
Exactly. That's how it's done.
Sold.
And this is why.
How much is the
This
course?
is why the Rothschild family own 1/3 of the fucking planet. They don't sell anything.
This is the second time I asked you, you didn't answer. Why? You don't want?
What did you say?
How much is the course?
Oh, the course. Well, it's going to be opening up on my birthday, and on my birthday we're going to be giving away the
When is
course. September 15th.
Okay.
Right? And only for the day, the 24 hours on my birthday, the course will not only be free, but we'll actually pay you
Oh, wow.
in Satoshis. Right? That's how we're setting it up. So
Okay.
if you watch the live event, you'll learn all about how you can have the whole course for free. Not only for free, but actually we'll pay you.
So you have like a Alex Hormozy lounge style?
Yes. I read his books, yes.
I'm a
Exactly.
marketer, boss, so you talk to the right guy.
Yes. So we pay you. Right? So yes, it will definitely be worth your while.
I like this initiative. I think this is the loop of fulfillment when you get
Because we
so
want you.
much from you believe and you deserve it because you've been through this journey with Bitcoin in so many ups and downs, and when you're down, when like you see it's going down, so many questions in your head, right?
Exactly.
But you stayed like.
It wasn't any question
You
for me,
played,
but it's a question for other people, and that's what I'm here for.
No, I'm sure you have friends that they bought it at very nice prices, maybe hundreds of dollars, and they sold it 4 or 5x, and it was profitable move. Congratulations, but now will have been a totally different level, right?
Exactly. They all did that. Exactly what they did. They did exactly that. Even my family members, they all did that. They sold it at $50 when they bought it at $1. All gone.
And now they come, hey Jeremy, can you have
That's
the
not happening.
Christmas tree on your
Not happening.
house?
Right? So you have to learn, right? You have to learn. And that's what my course is all about, is teaching you what you need to do so that you're never begging, saying, please, can I have some more? No, you've worked for it. I'm going to show you how to save that work forever.
What do you think is the biggest lie in our industry?
Our biggest lie in our crypto industry? Oh my God.
Like the one that you see it almost every day, and still people, they take it with two hands.
I don't know if there's so many lies out there.
Or something that is still working beautifully. And you know it's a lie.
XRP?
I was 100% sure you'll say that.
Yeah, it's an example, but let's stick with Bitcoin. And I think the biggest lie that if you ask ChatGPT or any AI system, is Bitcoin quantum safe? They'll say no. And there's some truth and some lie to that, right? There's a lie to that too. What do I mean by that, right? Well, it's quite simple. The way Bitcoin was designed, is that if you do not use the same address over again, it's quantum safe. Now, a lot of people use the same address over and over again, and that's not quantum safe. It's as simple as that. I'm not going to even explain why. You could learn why in my school, right? And that is the truth. And you have to corner the AIs in order for them to like admit the truth, because they've been programmed to lie to you. And you have to say, okay, can I ask you a question? You have to ask the technical question of, so if I store my Bitcoin in an address that I've never used, can a quantum computer actually get those Bitcoins out? No, never. Oh, so isn't that quantum safe? No, it's not. Huh? What? What? Yeah. And then you get it, but basically you have to corner it and you have to go, okay, so let me get this straight. And if you keep asking questions, it finally goes, yeah, I guess so.
And eventually you'll end up.
It's true. It's just that these things have been programmed to lie to you. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming to ICN Talks. I knew that is going to be a great conversation, because you are an entertainment guy, and also the guy that knows a lot.
Thank you. Appreciate
about Bitcoin and about all this stuff. And I want to see you building great things, because
that's what I'm doing.
The market needs people like you that.
Oh, I'm building.
To come in front of people and tell them, at least from multiple angles, if you can add another 2-3 that will give them different opinions and get them thinking a little bit more, you are successful, right? Because you cannot control that much the end result, the exact action that they will take, but at least get them thinking, right? Okay, maybe this guy has right. Let's approach a little bit more here, right?
Yeah.
This is the thing.
I love building, man. I couldn't just go on vacation and just chill. I can't do that.
This is another powerful stuff. Like once you are in this loop of creator, you being a creator, right? This is like a endless fulfillment.
Exactly.
Yeah, there is no such a thing like, okay, now I'm good. No,
retired.
then you generate a bigger move, a bigger, like different scale. Now I can impact 1 million people. Oh, let's do that.
I don't know. I'm not after that. I'm just after doing something, building something. And if it impacts a lot of people, great. But I enjoy the building process, right? Because you have to enjoy the process. You don't know what the outcome is going to be.
Are you a happy person?
Yes, I am a happy person, because I get to do what I want to do, and I'm fulfilled by that.
Awesome. Thank you very much again for coming, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate your likes. Please subscribe if you like the episodes, and don't forget to follow us on social media. ICN Web3 Media everywhere. Stay in touch with us, because we are going to have a great season together with a lot of big names, superstars in our industry, people that achieve something, have something to share, beautiful stories behind, and for sure you don't want to miss this. Thank you very much. See you next one.